Hey everybody, on today's episode we're going to do foods that you can take with you. Now the first one, a friend of mine that likes to go backpacking and camping, said they wanted a good granola recipe. They wanted something they could throw in their backpack, munch it away. I said sure. Another recipe is for a giardiniera that I was going to make a big sandwich or something you could take on a picnic. Some kids in the neighborhood that are outside in the yard, and one of them came up and was like, "We're having a picnic." I got my inspiration from that. Let's go.
On this homemade granola, I'm going to use some chopped up walnuts, some dried raisins, dried cherries, and cranberry powder, which is essentially dried cranberries that you buzz up. Now, these all provide antioxidants, bits of fats, energy-producing materials that are light, and more importantly, you can just shove them in your mouth and eat them. They're ready to go. The next ingredient would be oatmeal. Now, it's a good carbohydrate in that it's a sticky one and it has a lot of beta-glucans, which is good for your heart, and it also gives you that sensation of fullness. We're going to use about 3 cups in a bowl here. Next, we're going to add about a little less than a quarter cup of canola oil, a little fat to help it cook out, taste nice, and do a little bit of binding. And to add a little bit of sweetness, we're going to add some maple syrup. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. It's a good natural flavor, and it adds to all the other ingredients. And our final ingredient before we throw it in the oven are the chopped up walnuts. And we're going to mix everything together, put it on a baking sheet, cook it at about 325 for 30 minutes. Open up the oven occasionally to stir it around to make sure you don't get any burn spots. You're ready to go. After 30 minutes, put in your dried fruit and you got granola. So for this picnic sandwich, I'm going to make a giardiniera. It's essentially a pickled vegetable dish that you can use in a wide variety of applications. Let's use some cauliflower, some celery, and carrots chopped up in this manner. We're going to put it in a brine, then we're going to marinate it in some herbs and spices. So for the brine, it's 20-to-1 liquid to salt and same proportions of water to vinegar. In this case, I'm using red wine vinegar, a little bit of white, some bay leaves, and some sugar. Let it simmer, look like this. Now we put all our veggies in there and let it simmer for about 8 minutes. Just keep it on a low simmer until everything is tender. The vegetables will look nice, and we'll get ready on our next step. While the veggies are cooking, make a marinade of olive oil, oregano, and fennel seeds. This gives a nice herbal, licorice flavor to it. It really works well. So once the veggies are done, we're going to strain off some of the vinegar, but keep a little bit because we're going to mix it in with our marinade. All our veggies into the same bowl with our marinade, and we'll mix everything together. Now, once this cools off, you can eat it as is. It's a great pickle, but what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a jar, let it sit for a bit, and then when we assemble our sandwich, we're going to chop some of this up. First step to making a picnic sandwich is to slice up some bread. So here I have an old whole wheat loaf that I'm going to slice on the horizontal, and just be careful, slice it open, and we'll get ready to work. After all, it's only a sandwich. Okay, now that the top's removed, we're going to get ready to work. Now in some cases, some people remove the bread in the middle, but hey, if I took the time to make this, I'm going to damn well eat it. So let's get ready to assemble our sandwich. The first ingredient is sun-dried tomatoes. I just add some hot water to get them back. And add some leftover piggy roast. We have our giardiniera, which I buzzed up in a little food processor here and get it into a nice fine form, just like you see here. Our next ingredient are roasted peppers and oil. Basically, you put a bell pepper in the oven, roast it till the skins come off, put them in some olive oil. To assemble the sandwich, we're going to put our giardiniera that we've chopped up and just spread it all over the base of our bread. Next, I'm putting down our roasted pork, but you could put ham, prosciutto, soppressata, whatever you have available on there. Just make sure you get a good layer on top of your giardiniera. Next, we're going to add our cheese, in this case mozzarella, and our rehydrated tomatoes. And the final part of our assembly are our roasted peppers. We're just going to layer them on top of all the tomatoes. Then we're going to cap it, wrap it, weigh it down, and slice it up. So here we go. We're going to cap it. Then we wrap it up, weigh it down with something heavy, put it in the fridge, let it wait for about 12 hours, and finally, we slice it. Here's our picnic sandwich. Food that travels with you. Share, like, and subscribe.